In this video, we'll be covering the Job Tools app within SiteMetrix Grade and GradeMetrix. The first option we have in Job Tools is Manage Layers. Here, we can turn specific layers off that we don't want to see by clicking on this sun icon. If I go back out to my main screen views, we'll see a blue line here. If I wanted to know what line this layer was associated to, I can just tap on it. It'll bring up the guideline menu. At the very top, it'll tell me what layer this line is associated with. It's shoulder here, so I'll go back into Job Tools and turn shoulder off. Again, just click the sunlight and tell it to close. Now you see that line is no longer in view. This would be useful if you have two lines close together and you only want to select one, like top, back a curb, and face a curb. In Job Tools, we can also change the color associated to that layer if we want. Simply click on the color associated to that layer and then pick an appropriate color that you'd want to change to. Export job would be used if you want to transfer a job from one data collector or one display to a different one. This will transfer all files like line work, surface, localizations, and any field designs you created, or topo files. This would be the easiest way to transfer from the data collector into a machine display. To use this feature, pick the job that you want to export and tell it to open. Now pick the Export To button and pick the thumb drive that you have in your display and tell it to save. Now if I go into Windows and open up File Explorer, you'll see on my thumb drive I now have a job called Maricopa, the one I actually exported out. To bring that job into a different display, go Menu, Open Job, insert the thumb drive into the display you want to import the job into, pick the thumb drive, pick the job, and tell it to open. That'll now transfer the job from the thumb drive to the display. In Job Tools, we also give you the ability to import a Land XML as a surface instead of the traditional DXF DWG. You can either create a new job and import the surface, or you can import the surface into an existing job. If I wanted to import the Land XML into an existing job, I would simply pick the job from my list and make sure to uncheck Replace Surfaces if you already have a current DXF or DWG in there that you still want to use. And also uncheck Replace Coordinate Points, and then Import From. Pick the drive the XML is located on, and then pick the XML you want to import, and tell it to open. And then tell it OK to load the job. The project will now contain a surface brought in from an XML. If you want to create a new job and import a Land XML, just check on the Import As New Job, and again, tell where the XML is located. And then just follow the same procedures we used for the existing job. Copy Job will allow you to copy a job from your current list and give it a new name. This would be useful if you have a redesign and you don't want to tamper with any of your existing files. Rename Job will allow you to rename any job you have in your data folder already. Just pick the job you want to rename and give it a new name. And then pick Rename and close. Now if I go look at my job list, you'll see the test 2 that I renamed it to. One thing to note about Job Tools is by default, it is locked in user mode. So you have to enable admin mode to be able to access it. If this is a tool you'd like accessible by default, you can change that in Settings, General, Authorization, find Job Tools, and change that to User, and tell it OK. Now if I go in my menu, you'll notice I have access to Job Tools without being in admin mode.